Driving. Like a dog in the street.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Twin City Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us today. We're going to be going through if the Twins have done enough to contend this offseason, because obviously the rest of the AL Central has been pretty stagnant in their offseason moves and really everything. I think the Twins have probably been the team that's made the most moves. We got that today. We got some predictions to get to, as well as the championship Sunday in the NFL, one of the best sporting days of the year, in my opinion. Nothing really beats it for the most part. Maybe the divisional round, because that's 4 games, 2 each day. But either way, first off, we're going to start with our sponsor for the video, which is Kitchen Wise, Closet Wise, family-owned, operated business, proudly serving the Twin Cities and surrounding areas. They specialize in creating custom solutions designed around how you actually live, from kitchens and closets to pantries, garages, and more. They transform underused and cluttered spaces into something both beautiful and highly functional. What sets Kitchen Wise, Closet Wise apart is their focus on smart layouts, quality materials, and custom designs that make the most of every inch. If you want storage and spaces that work harder for you, Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise will make it happen. Call or go to the website to have someone out for a free consultation. They're great. Thanks for sponsoring Kitchen Wise, Closet Wise. Everyone go check them out. Twins enough to contend this year. So obviously the Twins have made a few moves. They just signed Taylor Rogers, lefty piece, if people remember that nickname.
Oh yeah.
So that's the main thing that we've been harping on all offseason is they went and got Victor Caratini, they got Josh Bell, they got a few bats, and we've been just harping, you got to go get a reliever because the Twins bullpen is still, even with Rogers being on the team, it's just not in a place that you want to have it. And if the Twins want to contend in this division, which I think they can. I legit think they can. You need to go get one more reliever. A little bit of good news, you kick out Pearson Ole, you DFA Pearson Ole. So I mean that's one guy you don't need to worry about as much now. But I mean, so like now you have your kind of catcher duo instead of Alex Jackson, which has been kind of a draft bust in the MLB. We never really got to talk about Victor Caratini much. So I mean, I like that move. Victor actually had a very good year last year, hitting like 250, which for catchers is above average. So if you can get any bit of that this year, I would love that. Obviously, there's the kind of worry or risk. Like, I don't think it's going to happen now that pitchers and catchers report in like 2.5 weeks here. There was always the worry that Ryan Jeffers would be on the trading block because the Twins, they do have a lot of like catcher depth at the time of the Caratini signing, but also John A. Pareda, he also got DFA'd with Pearson Ole. So he was kind of our 4th catcher, I guess, with Alex Jackson being the 3rd one. But now they have in depth. What was that?
I was just going to say both those guys should easily clear waivers and stay with the Twins. Well, you could argue Pareda because I think he's technically more veteran. So unless he just would rather be released in a pending free agent, but yeah, I'm sure Pearson Ole will still be on the AAA squad and could be caught up when your injuries start stacking. If he's having a good year and all that. So
yeah, I think he's definitely a guy to watch when injuries.
But for the catcher, Pareda,
yeah,
who really cares? I don't think it matters either way whether he stays on the AAA team or if you just completely get rid of him. But
so I mean, like I said, one more reliever would be very nice. I'm gonna name off just a few of like the top reliever names. And here's the thing: you got Taylor Rogers for $2 million. I thought Rogers would go for about $3.5-4 million. So very good contract and a good signing there. Because Rogers is still kicking well. Like he had a 3.4 ERA last year.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. 3.38 ERA, 50.2 innings pitched. Whip was a tad high at 138, which that may have been his highest, but
Yeah, that's all right.
But honestly, from what I was hearing, and signing him for $2 million with the guy experience, obviously he's not what he used to be, but
Mhm.
he's still with our current bullpen the way it's constructed. And it's one of your top 3.
Oh, he's top
Yeah.
2. Like it's basically just him and Cole Sands.
Yeah, I was thinking Sands. You could argue Topa,
Yeah,
maybe,
you could,
but yeah,
but I'm not going to.
but
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
going
argue.
to. Yeah, I think we're still one reliever away, which you're hinting at. Will
Yeah,
the Twins address that?
I'm gonna
Maybe.
name a few here. So here's a couple hard throwing guys that could be like that hard throwing closer type, starting
Yeah.
with Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech, and then Jose Leclerc. Honestly, out of all these names, I'll get to a few more, but I would love to see Michael Kopech because the
Yeah.
guy throws 101 mile per hour fastball. He has good off speed.
I think he
Beside
battled
it,
injuries. So that's like the
yes,
one thing.
yeah,
But the
that's why he
player
isn't signed
side,
yet. Yeah,
yeah, you're
because
right on.
even if you can get like a good first half and you're not contending, trade him for a top 10 prospect or something because I think you could get that if Michael Kopech, the upside is there with him.
Yeah,
A few of the other names though, Liam Hendricks, Scott Barlow is still available, Tommy Canley,
oh really?
Rafael Montero, Shelby Miller. So there's still some names out there, and I have a very good feeling.
Yeah,
In
even
and
Canely and Hendricks. Obviously, those are older pitchers now, but
mm-hmm.
talk about having good careers as relievers.
Canley, the one pitching only changeups, basically.
Yeah,
Just a
he's
strict
the
changeup
Lance
pitcher.
Lynn, but instead of all fastballs, it's all changeups.
Yeah. And this probably will happen, Twins fans, because Bobby Nightingale, he is reporting that the Twins are expected to add a righty. So they add lefty piece in Taylor Rogers. And all of these guys that I just listed are the righties that are
Yeah.
on Nightingale and reportedly the Twins radar right
Yeah.
now. So out of those guys, I'd be good with really any of them. Just I want another pitcher in general,
Yeah,
but
most of the names I agree with. There's a few. I think like Shelby Miller,
yeah,
Montero. I don't know if I'd want them. I take them. First come. I mean, I'd rather have them than
nothing.
one of the depth guys, that fringe guy that does make the
Yep.
team if you don't add that additional piece.
Yeah. If I had to choose one of them, it'd either be Evan Phillips, Kopech, Canley,
I'm
or
blanking on
Scott
Phillips.
Barlow.
Is
Evan
he the
Phillips
Rays
was
guy?
the Rays. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
then
a hard thrower too. But
the other thing I'm thinking, so assuming we don't add an additional lefty, it's going to be Funderburk and Rogers, right? As the only 2 lefties for the pen.
yeah, which
Or really in general.
when we start talking about the like full like season preview, what this 26-man roster is going to look like. Cody Funderburk had a phenomenal end to the season last year. When there wasn't any pressure, Funderburk was on, and he has the stuff. A good slider,
he's
good
dominated
changeup.
AAA. So
it's kind of maybe we're starting to see it turn around a little bit.
I think Funderburk, I would say had his breakout year, but really it was half a year.
Yeah.
But now that he's like a full timer, if he stays healthy, which knock on wood, hopefully I'm not jinxing him. I think he's been pretty durable as is. So no, I think I wouldn't even consider him a fringe guy. I think he's not crazy good, but he's a regular, like everyday middle reliever.
I agree.
I think he's established himself now where he's a regular where you're not doing the up and down where you're up and down like 4 times a year. He won't be a part of the send an arm down because everyone's been pitched or he has used up usage where you got to call up a fresh arm. I don't think he's a part of that train anymore.
He's gonna be up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another trade the Twins made a couple days ago. They traded someone in our catcher depth in this entire system, Nate Baez, for Red Sox third baseman Tristan Gray. I actually like this trade a lot. You get really just a no-name catcher that's you're really never going to see the league for a guy that's been in the majors for at least like a portion now, and I don't actually know how old Tristan Gray is. Do you want to look that up,
He's,
Trev?
he's 30. I was looking because Gray
He's
can
30.
play. The nice thing with Gray is I think first base was the least usage his
Mhm.
time last year. Well, it's kind of funny. He's had a kind of funny offseason because he played with the Rays, but I think technically he's been like he's like joined. I think the Twins are like the fourth team from like waivers or in this case a minor trade.
Well, he was on the
But
White
he's
Sox during the season last year, and then
well, he
got
and the
traded to
Rays.
Tampa Bay
Okay.
at the trade deadline. And then he also got traded to Boston this offseason in November, and Boston traded him here.
Yeah, so he's 29 right now, becomes season start. He turns 30 March 22nd, so he'll be turning 30 in spring training. But yeah, so that's
Yeah.
kind of like, which 30 may kind of seem old, but in baseball, I think that's more like easily still in your prime because unless you're a first round pick or a mega like
Prospect,
international
yeah.
prospect signing, most of these
Mhm.
guys aren't getting called up till you're 25 at the
I mean, look at
youngest
Matt
until, like,
Wallner. Matt
27,
Wallner's been in the
28.
league for 2 full seasons, 3, and he's
Yeah.
like 29 now or something.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Ober was a late call too. But yeah, so 30 for
Yeah.
Tristan Gray, a guy that can play all 4 infield spots to kind of pair with who's out the utility Clemens.
Yeah.
I like that. I forget I was trying to look something up and I forget what I was gonna look at.
Either way, though,
back to the catcher trade. Was that dude the one that kind of where he was like throwing games? Did you ever see that report? It was last year's season, like this year that just ended,
you mean
or
our
like a year
catcher
and a
that
half
we
ago.
traded away?
Yeah, I think he was. There was some catcher in the Twin system. It was a lower prospect. I remember it not being like a name I really even knew. Where he was like intentionally like supposedly, I don't know if this was true, but I saw some post where supposedly he was like telling batter like fastball coming or curveball coming. So then the batter is obviously sitting on set pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna see if I can quickly look that up. But I thought that was interesting, and I might be completely wrong. Might be on the wrong person.
Well,
But
hey,
anyways, yeah,
good
the
to get him.
Tristan
Good to get him
Gray
out.
acquisition because catcher's probably not going to make it, and even if he does, very low chance he turns into anything other than a depth guy at best. Obviously, anything can happen, but to get a guy that can just play all 4 infield spots, you've got the flexibility to pair with Clemens.
Yep.
That's like super valuable, even if the hitting may not be there.
Yeah, and I mean the hitting, like it wasn't horrible. His OPS was about 690, which is a little bit below league average being around 740. But he only had like 70 at bats last season, so he put the ball in play when he was up there, which is good. But
yeah, it was. I mean, technically bad stats for a guy at his caliber.
yeah.
That's what you'd expect.
The reason why we're kind of doing an episode about the Twins contending is that's exactly what the Twins front office said they were going to do going into this season. They said they were going to build a team this offseason to contend for the division. And so now that we are now, like I said earlier, like 2.5 weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting here, the rest of the division hasn't done much at all. And I think it's looking better and better for Twins fans right now because, I mean, a few of the reasons why the Twins can't contend. First of all, the Twins easily have the best starting depth in the division. Well, I mean, maybe you can argue the Tigers, but for depth purposes,
It's solid.
Tarek Skubal outweighs Joe Ryan, Pablo, Bailey Ober combined. But like depth, the Twins have it. They got guys in the minors that should technically like be up. Like David Festa should probably be on the 26 man, but there's a chance he's just not going to be based on the depth that we have. That's the big thing with the Twins. And then also the lineup is not like terrible by any means. If like this is all obviously dependent on health, on like just guys staying on the field, because if we go around real quickly, Ryan Jeffers is an above average like hitting catcher most years. So that's good right there. And then you go to first baseman Josh Bell. Yeah, he's a 230, 240 hitter, but he can also hit 25 homers on on your team either way. But that's what you signed him to do, so you can't be upset about it. Plus, I mean, it's not much better than what the Twins had last year with Ty France, so it's kind of the same thing there.
Yeah.
Second base, Luke Keyshaw, no worries. Unless he has like a here's the thing with Edward Julian, his year in 23 was really good. He hit 280, but he also struck out a lot, and you saw those flashes, and he also couldn't hit the breaking balls. So you could kind of sense a decline for Julian, which really happened, obviously, Twins fans, but Keyshaw is different. Keyshaw hits to every part of the park, and he hits every type of pitch. He's a huge contact hitter, and he's super fast, but the defense is the bad part about Keyshaw. But either way, like him at second is great. And then shortstop right now, really good defense with Brooksley. And Brooksley it just keeps scraping the surface with his hitting. I mean, he's right around that 250 mark right now. I think he'll improve, to be completely honest. He's always been just kind of improving slowly with the major league, more time he gets. And then this is the big health dependent third base, Royce Lewis. Obviously, when Royce Lewis is healthy, other than Buck, probably your best player right now. So, honestly, keep going.
One quick thing on Brooksley is, I mean, this is your first full year, right, where you're the established shortstop, because it was Correa prior to that. So, obviously, he had all of August and September as that role, but now you have a full year, so it's going to be exciting seeing what he can do.
I agree. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that, but yeah, because Correa was starting last year.
Don't we all just love Carlos Correa?
Love him. Okay, I will say, like, Trevor and I will probably most indefinitely be going to like the first Astros game. I'm genuinely curious if fans are Target Field are going to boo or not. I'm not going to boo him at all. I wouldn't, but because I mean, the dude, like, he is maybe the main reason why you want a postseason series there, and like he brought yes, it was touchy on the way out and everything, and he's like, this team stinks, we're not going to contend, and we're all like, all right, screw you. But no, like, he did good things for us. Yeah,
I'm gonna boo him just because he treated Minnesota on that second signing. It was accept the Mets off. Well, whatever.
Giants and then Mets.
It was Giants. Okay, yeah. So you accept Giants offer. I'm going to the Giants. Okay, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm going to the Mets. Actually, no, I'm not. Minnesota, we're back. I
always wanted to be here.
So besides that, and kind of how the recently, I don't know. He had great defense at short. He played.
He also hit pretty dang well, though. Like, he hit well.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll see when that time comes. But Brooksley at short is fine. But then the outfield depth, we can talk about Matt Wallner as much as we want. And it's honestly, you can't really go worse than what it was last year. He hit like 220, I think.
If that for Wallner, right?
Yeah, with a full year though, you're still gonna get 25 home runs out of him. And it's gonna be your big power bat in the lineup. He's gonna strike out a lot. But Trevor Larnach, again, we can call him kind of a draft bust for being a first round pick, obviously. Yeah. But Larnach still hits around like 250, 260. Do you have
so Wallner, real quick, just for clarification, 336 at bats, it was 202 average with 22 homers. But the funny thing, as we've discussed this, the 40 RBIs, like every time he homered, it was almost always a solo. And if you're lucky, you can maybe have a guy on base for a 2-run homer, which that kind of stunk for him. Nobody could get
players on base. Yeah.
Well, that or no one gets on when he homers. So, but so it's 202 and 22 homers. So both him, because Wallner technically is at like early second because he went 39th overall.
Yep.
So him and Larnach, it's looking like we'll each bust out.
Yeah. So I have a question. What would you count as like a good, successful? You're happy with Wallner. You're like average and then home run wise this year. Say he has like 450 at bats.
Well, yeah, pretty much in the mid 20s to upper 20s. The RBIs you can't really control. Well, you can. You have some control over.
But
Where
for
if,
like homers,
how
how many homers?
Yeah, I would
do
say
you
like
want?
25 to like 30.
Yeah.
Because I mean he's strictly like homer or bust. It's the Miguel Sano type, where it's either it's going to be a bullet for like a single or double,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a homer. Like it's all like
Every time the bat
it's not.
touches the ball, it's going 115 off the bat.
If you could still do the extreme shifting before the shifting had its modifications to how much you can shift, I'm sure teams would play their left fielder in pretty much darn near center field.
Yes.
And then center fielder would play center or right center, and then right fielder would be playing down the line. So
Yep.
he's not using the left side of the field. So you're not. Yeah, I would say like 230, 25, 30 homers,
Mm-hmm.
roughly.
I would say so. Like the average, I agree on. Like if he hit, let's just say a baseline. I want Wallner to hit 230, but if he's hitting 230, that means it's only homers. I want at least 30 home runs with him and 450 at bats. Like having a average that low, you need to have some sort of like production, and that production obviously is with the home runs for him. So it needs to be above average in that category. If your average is going to be that low, like you need to show something.
Yeah,
But
if the average is going to be low, you kind of circle into my other thought. If you're going to hit like right at 200 again, then at least put the ball, like you're going to strike out. But if you can put the ball in play
yeah,
a lot more than what you were doing, we'll always take a ground out or a fly out rather than just, strike three, whether you're looking or swinging up, striking out, swinging. At least you give yourself a chance, make the defense make a play.
well, especially if there's guys on second and third, because if there's one out, you can get someone to tag up. And like, here's the thing with Wallner, he's always trying to swing for the fence, like always. Some of his swings are so ugly sometimes. If he just puts if he just pokes his bat at the ball, that ball is still probably going to go 250, 270 feet, and you're going to have enough to get a player able to tag up on that hit.
Yeah.
Like no matter, because he has the power, just put the bat to ball and you'll see results.
And this really does not matter anything, but just really, really fun. Vasquez was obviously the slowest person for taking up. But now with our current roster, we don't really have like a dead slow guy. Like our slowest guy
has to be Caratini.
Has the decent. Yeah.
Well, actually, probably Josh Bell.
Oh,
Either
never mind. But yeah, it's still probably better than Vasquez taking up from third, trying to score on a play. Yeah. So there we go.
Derek Shelton's always been and he said he's going to bring this type of ball where it's fundamental speed. Yeah. He's actually going to steal bases. That's what Rocco said last year, but then we were still dead in the league and stolen bases. And we had the guys last year, like we did. Keyshaw, Buck, Willie Castro, and
before the trade.
Yeah. Either way, like we're going to be playing a more fundamental type of brand of baseball this year. So
has Bader signed?
No, he is not. I haven't seen any reports for him either.
I'm looking this up right now.
Twins fans, we could get the Chug Jug bat back here in Minnesota if people remember that.
For the players weekend or whatever.
Well, you look that up. Just talking more about the outfield depth.
Sounds like Phillies are the favorite to bring him back, but anything's kind of on the table.
I would assume so. Yeah.
That was just like the headline. That's not me reading it. It's just like the first thing that popped up.
Yeah, for the lineup though, I mean, if you could get 230 and 30 home runs out of Wallner, I'd be super happy with that.
Yeah.
I'd still be happy with a 230, 25 home run year, but I just think you need to see more in the home run category if your average is going to be that low.
230 is going to be good for him because I think 240 is like peak. Like
that was like
250 would really
numbers.
Be pushing it. Like,
yeah.
If he's anything above 240, 250, I'm pretty sure any realistic Twins fan will be absolutely shocked with, his player type and play style and all that. So,
well, because 2023 and 2024, he hit 240 or 250 and then 260. Those were only in 70.
And I think part of that too, though, is like, so that's good, but this goes for like any sport too, right? The more film you get on the player, anytime they make it to the pros.
Yep.
And then you've got the scouting and all that. I mean, look at Julian. That's
you
why
have to adjust.
I think realistically, kind of circling back to Keisha, you made the the Julian point where he started off well and then he just absolutely collapsed. Keishel had such a great year, almost too good of a year. Very realistically, we can't expect that again. Because, there's going to be more and
You
more
can't
film. He's a
expect
great player. He'll still be good.
production that he gave, but I think there's absolutely 0%, and I'm not saying you think this, but there's 0% chance that he has like the Edward Julian type fall off because Keishel has the like raw ability to just put the bat to ball. Julian still struck out a ton in that 2023 season. Yeah. He just hit homers, really is what happened there. But Keishel is going to be a player here like for a long time. I mean, I remember 2 years ago when he was in like AA, I was telling you his name, and I'm like, I'm really excited about this kid hitting 300 every single year.
He was such a like highly his like scouting metrics, whatever you want to call it, like his hitting ability was always like about
it was
as high
always
as it could be for a prospect.
Yeah. Back to the outfield depth, obviously. So the corners to start. Well, actually, Trevor Larnach is probably going to be your DH heading into opening day, which, whatever. It's just how it is. Larnach is going to give you another 250 season, to be completely honest. But then obviously in center, Byron Buxton. Hopefully we can get an 80% of a year, kind of like last year again. But the chances of that are very small, Twins fans. Yeah. But then I think we've talked about this a little bit, but I think your left fielder going into opening day is Austin Martin. And there's a little bit of discussion here because Alan Roden, he could have some runway there. Also like James Outman is sitting there, but
I was gonna say, like, I don't think we would be surprised if there's like a late offseason trade. Because
to get a left field
really have, well, just in general, like where one outfielder is out, and it could be a swap, but it's just like, because between Roden, you got Martin, you got the current 3 starters of Larnach, Wallner, Buxton, so that's 5.
This is what we've been saying all offseason too, is trade one of your depth starters for a bat. Like that would be, I would love that. Like trade a Festa, trade a Sim, trade someone.
Roden's lefty only, right? He doesn't switch it. Yeah, so
and that's also the plus with having Austin Martin starting too, is he's the righty bat. And me personally, I would actually be very happy with Martin starting in left and being in their lineup, because the 2 years of Austin Martin in the big leagues, 2024, he played in 93 games. He hit 253, and he only struck out 47 times in 240 at bats. And then last year, he hit so well last year, like better than a lot of his minor league years. Again, like these players were playing with no pressure in the second half of the season there. Martin hit 282 last year, an OPS of 740, only struck out 31 times in like those 50 games. So, and he had 11 stolen bases. He's another speed threat that will steal bases. And he puts bat to ball. Like, I would feel really confident. Yes, I would be happy with a trade to get like someone else there, but I'm actually really happy with Austin Martin starting left. And he's coming in healthy too, so
either it's a lefty outfield bat or you just strictly get another pitcher.
Yeah,
because you only have so many roster spots, and I think most of them, if not all of them, Roden might have a minor league option, but like I don't think Martin can go down without waivers. Larnach, Wallner, like you're not sending them down. Obviously, Buxton's a lock. So that's 4 right there. And then you got to count Roden. So unless Roden's got an option.
And you also have to count James Outman for the outfield too.
Yeah, I'm not really counting him. He's more of the depth guy.
No, I know, but he's just a bit. Well, he'll probably be starting.
He's number 6. Who do you rather play, Outman or Roden? Like,
well, that would only make 5.
4th.
Oh wait, Larnach.
So the starting 3.
Yeah, that would be 6.
Martin obviously has more utilities. He's not strictly outfielder, but
Yep. Well, also you're gonna have Cody Clemens up too that can play those spots if needed. But James Outman is the 6th outfielder. You're right. Either way, but then we've talked about it like last week too. The outfield depth in the minors coming up. You'll probably see a few of those guys this year. Manuel Rodriguez, some of those. it's immense down there. It's very fun to see. Either way, but like as far as their chances in the division for the Twins, like we were kind of hinting at, these other teams haven't done anything. The Royals are going in with making, I think the only move. What moves have the Royals made? The White Sox have actually been the most active team. The White Sox signed Sir Anthony Dominguez. They signed Murakami out of Japan. And actually, probably the White Sox have been the most active team in this division this entire offseason, if I'm being completely honest.
Besides those two, which those two are obviously crucial signings, have they added like a third or fourth?
I don't think so. Actually, I'll go to the White Sox real quick because that's kind of the topic we're on. For transactions, I guess, and the other thing, they did just trade Luis Robert, whatever you want to say, to the Mets. Right, yeah. So I forgot about that. But that was kind of, you could tell just Luis Robert, he just was not, he did not like his life over there in
5 years.
Chicago. Yeah.
Because what was it, 2021? I believe it was Oakland in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Since that playoff run, so then after that playoff, or the year they made the playoffs, that year going forward and like up to this current point, I think Robert was literally the last the
last player from that team.
Guy, but now that's like the last core guy, so it's a completely new team.
Either way, like besides any of that, the Twins are miles better than the White Sox still going into this year, so that we don't need to talk a ton about that. Going to the Royals, I do not remember a big move or any move that the Royals have really made. If you can remember, I'm looking real quickly through like their transaction list, but Jorge Alfaro, the catcher, I guess. Matt Strom is the big one that I was thinking of. From Philly. They reacquired him from a trade. But that is the only move the Royals have made. I guess they signed Lane Thomas, but that's not a pin needle mover at all.
No.
And then you talked about, which one are you looking at?
I was skimming through Detroit, but keep going.
You skim through Detroit. I'm gonna look through the Guardians because I don't think the Guardians have made. Actually, the first report that comes up when I see the Guardians is Jose Ramirez nearing extension to stay with the Guardians.
I did see that like 2 days ago.
Through 2032. Either way, the Guardians have they have the smallest payroll in the division. So, and the Guardians, they have not done one thing this offseason. Not one thing. Not one major league signing. Except Sean Armstrong, the reliever, which actually that's a really good signing for sure. But
so at least for the Tigers, from their free agents this year is Kyle Finnegan, Alex Cobb, Tommy Keenly, Gleyber Torres, Rafael Montero, and Paddock. And I'm just kind of skimming.
Well, they also signed Kenley Jansen.
Okay, I didn't know that.
They beefed up their bullpen. That is the only thing the Tigers did. They beefed up their bullpen a lot, which that's kind of the reason they lost in the playoffs there. But
Gleyber did return. Torres
that was right at the beginning of this offseason, right?
Yeah, that was the 18th of November.
Yeah.
All the way back from last year. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Talking about those, I mean, right now I take the Twins over obviously the White Sox. I take them over the Royals. I take them over the Guardians. The Tigers are really the only one that I'm kind of stuck on here. Basically just because of the starting pitching depth is what's carrying me there. And if the Twins are going to sign another right-handed reliever, they are going to. I mean, you have to imagine that if they want to actually compete, that's going to be their number one move here. But other than that, we right now, for how bad that trade deadline hurt and the fire sale really damaged everybody's opinion on the Twins, we're actually going into this year with good hope. We have the second-ranked prospect pool in the league. The future is bright if you can play it and develop guys right. Trevor and I just did an episode last week of the Twins team in 5 years based on if prospects were to pan out, what it could look like. And it's honestly insane. The team we came up with, there wasn't any holes anywhere for the most part. And it's fun to see that. The likelihood of everybody panning out is like 50-50. 50% of them will, 50% won't. But either way, if you can get 50% and kind of keep your core pieces, Royce Lewis, Byron Buxton's aging a little bit. I think he's 32, so that's kind of a wild card. But the future's bright. This team is not as bad as the media puts it out to be. They have good players everywhere. Starting pitching.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting because if there was like a runaway in this division, then I'd say like, why are you even trying to contend? If there was like a Yankees or a Mariners in like the AL, if they were in the Twins division, I wouldn't like it that we're signing guys to contend and everything. I'd just say like, play Halen Culpepper up, get Walker Jenkins, Emmanuel Rodriguez. I'd say get them all up, but
see what you got.
We have the guys to compete. So,
one last note for the Twins before we carry on. I don't know if you saw it. Jose Miranda did sign with the Padres.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Depth signing.
I did see that. Yeah. Yeah, that's all for Twins talk though. In the next week or so, we'll probably have an projected opening day lineup. We're going to do one before spring training and then one after spring training before they really, or like at the tail end of spring training, kind of seeing how everyone has been hitting. I can't wait for spring training because we have such a good word on like everyone that's going to be down there. We know a bunch of the minor league players pretty well. So it's going to be fun to see who can outperform the other ones. Who's going to win that left field spot. But right now, we're going to get to our predictions for today. Kind of a weird thing happened yesterday. Everything that's happening in Minneapolis. The Wolves game got postponed till today. So I made a prediction on the Wolves game yesterday. That's not going to be up until today. But I said the Wild would win. They ended up losing on Hockey Day, Minnesota, to the Panthers in overtime 4-3. And I have to harp on something real quick. That was the most annoying overtime I've watched the Wild play in my life, because if for anyone that didn't see it, the Wild possessed the puck for the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the overtime period. So an overtime period is 5 minutes long. They possessed the puck until there was 2 minutes 50 seconds left. The Florida Panthers didn't even touch the puck in that time. They didn't even have it on one of their sticks. People in the comment sections, how many shots did the Wild take in those 2 minutes 10 seconds? 0. And I'm not talking about shots on goal. I'm talking about putting the puck on or near the net, firing it at the net. They didn't even take a shot in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And then guess what? You miss one pass, you get pickpocketed, and then then the Panthers get a 2-on-1 with Brad Marchand, and they send it home to win the overtime. The first time they touched the puck was a breakaway because you were trying to be so touchy and so perfect with your passing, making the big hero play, that you gave them just a key opportunity, because you miss one pass and it's all over and you're screwed basically. Wild lose because of that. You need to put the puck on net. And honestly, one thing that me and Jack and Trev have talked about a lot is the power play. The power play has looked better now because they're actually taking shots at net, and Kirill is shooting the puck more. 2 games ago, Kirill had 8 shots on goal. I don't know how many he had last night, but he also scored again last night. They're taking shots on net, and that's all you have to see there. Either way, actually, I don't know if Kachuk did not have 2 points last night, right? 2+ points.
I didn't watch, so I do not know.
There's 1. Yeah, 2 points for Kachuk, 2 assists. So that's a point in the point category for me. All right, my Wolves prediction is kind of ruined now a little bit because Trev, you said Curry is out, right?
Yeah, I was prepping for that. So for questionable, you got Curry, Melton, and their big Horford. Kuminga, his brother Seth Curry, not Steph, Seth Curry are out. So no Kuminga, no Seth Curry, no Butler, obviously, with the torn ACL. But Curry, DeAnthony Melton, and Al Horford are all questionable. And then it's the back-to-back. So, like for Curry, he's listed as questionable with right knee soreness. Is Curry, it's the franchise goat, probably going to play it safe. I would expect him not to play.
Yeah.
And then play tomorrow. But yeah,
Yep.
so Warriors are very thin. Which,
Okay.
if you're going to be thin, you might as well play the T-Wolf since they can't win when they should win.
Very true. That's very, very true. So I am switching my prediction. My original prediction that I made yesterday was that Ant and Steph Curry would both have 4+ threes. I'm just going to switch that to Ant will have 5+ threes tonight. That's hard to do in a game, even for Ant. Is that allowable right there, Trev?
You said 5+ threes?
Yeah, 5+ threes.
Isn't that kind of what it is? Let's see. Let's just look at us like last 5.
Okay.
I've barely watched the Wolves because it's hard to watch NBA regular season basketball. Season doesn't start until the playoffs start. Is what
Here, you know what? I'll
myself
do
and the
this.
family
So
will say.
I'll do 6+ threes. Because in his last 10 games, he's had 4 games of 5+ threes. So I'll do 6+ threes, and that's good.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Kind of hit or miss, it looks like, with him.
Yeah, it really is.
More head,
Last
but
game was
still.
bad. The
One of
Bulls,
the-
he had
yeah,
a
I see
bad
that.
game. Yeah. So Trevor, do you have a Wolves prediction?
Maybe.
Okay.
I have the Wolves winning big time, assuming no Curry and most of their guys are out.
Yeah.
But then again, why should I do this when they can't ever do it? But I'm going to
Yeah,
do
Wolves.
it anyways.
Yeah. Ugh.
Wolves are going to win by 20+ points. I have a final of 130, Wolves to 105.
All right.
And the bench warmers will play at least a couple minutes. So I'll say what's a good
Choose
number
one
for an
specific
over or
player
under.
because that could get iffy and hard to track.
Well, yeah, so maybe not Ingles, but for the third stringer. So it'll be your
Do
Leonard
Baron
Miller,
J or
it'll
something.
be Baron J. It'll be
screw
it. We'll just say Baron J.
Okay.
We'll play at least a couple minutes, 3 or 4.
Choose one, 3 or 4 minutes.
3.5.
All right.
Times 2. No, yeah, we'll just say
5+ minutes.
Yeah, no. Well, I was joking at first, but that kind of makes sense. We'll say oh wait, but you track it by per minute. We'll just say 4 minutes, 4 or more. So if he has 4
4+
or more
minutes.
minutes play,
Okay.
I'll count.
Yeah, that's perfect. I should say the standings going in today. I'm 49-37 with 19 points. Jack is 21-25 with 11 points. Trevor's 21-21 with 7 points. Got to get out of that 500 hole. All right.
Stay on the
Championship Sunday is here. First game, Patriots Broncos. Jarrett Stidham versus Drake May and the Patriots in Denver. Stud.
He's a stud.
Either way, I don't know of really any other injuries going into the game. Obviously, the Patriots have the upper hand with Stidham kind of being out a little bit. Questionable Mac Hollins. And then Harold Landry is the linebacker for the Patriots too, but he's been out. Not a ton of injuries going in. Let's look up the weather in Denver. That's what I'm actually curious about.
Fine. It's not going to be bad weather. It's when I think the New England Denver game's 28. The other should be 42. Pretty clear, I think.
Yeah, so it's going to be 27 degrees at kickoff there. And then Seattle is 35 degrees. Wow, that's going to be the best conditions in a Seattle NFC Championship game ever.
Yeah,
it's almost 40 degrees there.
Right?
Yeah, almost 40 degrees. The wind is
weather.
literally no wind.
Weather this time.
It is perfect weather for this time of year.
And
okay,
I mean, you think about it too, not just Minnesota, right? I mean, I know you guys mentioned on the podcast a couple of days ago with the whole cold front, just around most of the U.S. Imagine
but Minnesota's not really being hit by it.
The cold?
Well, the huge snowstorm that's hitting Texas and everything, and
Oh, right, yeah. We just have the cold, but I meant just temperature-wise and all that. How Minnesota, Seattle Seahawks, the legendary Blair Walsh memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you would have any cold games, but I know it's warm weather for January in Denver and Seattle.
Really is.
For this time of year, of course.
I'll shoot first here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll shoot first for a prediction. I said I'm on the record as a hot take. Hot take isn't a prediction, but I'm on the record a few weeks ago saying the Patriots would win the Super Bowl this year, or I think I said they'd make it there. And I'm tailing along with my hot take here. Patriots win today. I don't have faith in Jarrett Stidham. I don't. He's played he started 4 games in his career. Now he's to step in against one of the best defenses in the league in New England. I think it still could be a close game because Denver's defense is legit. They'll keep it close, hopefully. I'll say Patriots win 23-16. And for a player prediction, I think the quarterbacks will combine for 4 turnovers. Can I say that?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. For 4 turnovers. All right. Trevor. AFC Championship.
So Drake May did not play that well against Houston's defense. If it wasn't for Houston's defense, that game would have been a complete blowout. It would have been just an ugly game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think Denver's got a chance. You're at home. We in Minnesota hate Sean Payton. He's obviously one of the top coaches. If they can just have Stidham, I'm purposely saying that because he's a stud. If he can just feed Cortland Sutton, you need to play much better. Not that he was terrible last week, but he's a non-factor for most of that game.
Yep.
Got to get him the ball if you can get Evan Ingram, right? Their tight end.
Yep.
Going, right? I mean, running game I don't have a whole lot of faith in because their running backs are just average. They're nothing special. Anyways,
I mean, Harvey can have a big game, but yeah.
I have Denver's defense carrying them to the Super Bowl. They're going to find technically an upset, right? Because Denver's still won, but nobody's picking Denver, so I'm going to say the upset.
An upset by the odds makers and stuff.
Yeah, but if this is March Madness, New England upset alert is winning over Denver. Hate that crap. Anyways, I have Denver squeaking by.
Wow, okay, perfect.
20-17, so Denver's going to squeak by with that defense.
Love
it's going to carry B-Dog. Shout out to you. Kind of talked me into it, but he made a good point. Yeah, Drake May has not looked great on quarterback, facing a great defense. So I just really hope, because the Texans just got hammered with injuries in their game. It was obviously this was on the offensive side, but it was Schultz and then Nico Collins didn't even play because it was concussion
Those
from
were the 2 big
wild
ones.
card, and I just hope these teams can stay healthy. Obviously, everyone wishes Knicks was playing, but he's not. And this is what we're at. But no, I think the defense will get enough done. Yeah, because obviously it's shown if you can pressure Drake May and pressure him. I mean, he flat out just did not look good. He didn't look like his regular season self against Houston. So Denver's home. If the home crowd can rally, if Denver's if they can keep the energy. That's the biggest thing is I bet you if New England wins the toss, they're probably going to want to receive and silence that crowd and keep them silent, if not for the entire game, most of it.
It's a Kevin O'Connell type move.
Because obviously, ideally, normal football strategy, you kick. If you can double dip, 2-minute warning, and then you have the possibility of double dipping. Kind of said that backwards. But, I think it's going to be tough for Denver. Odds of it are probably 30%, but
what I'm gathering here is we both are kind of in agreement that it's 2 really good defenses. I don't see if there's going to be any outcome. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or a high scoring shootout game. This is the most unlikely case of that. It's going to be a football, a few turnovers probably.
I don't know if I said my prediction. My bad.
No, you didn't.
So I do have May with at least 2 turnovers because he had the fumble shit. Whether it's strip sack, maybe a pick, but So 2 turnovers for Drake May.
Yeah, that's completely fair after last week. I will say the conditions last week were horrible for that Texans-Patriots game.
Well, it started bad, but then I think they were saying that once when it turned into snow, it's obviously easier. It's still not ideal.
Easier, yeah, but I mean, it's
But
like you said, it's not
tough weather.
ideal. And now, like we just noted before this, both games here kind of perfect weather for this type of year. So, I mean, hopefully we'll see some good football today. That's all I want for a championship Sunday. But
Denver is the earlier game, right?
yep. And then
it's a low chance, but in Denver area between 5 and 6.
yeah,
so
I saw this.
After the game, a little chance of snow, but that shouldn't matter because the game should be done or will be done before then, unless the snow comes earlier if it does. But yeah.
But then the third meeting between these two teams this year, I can't wait for this game. Rams, Seahawks. I did see Drew Lock and good old Sammy D. They were splitting the first team reps this week, all practice, because Darnold still is battling this oblique injury.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, I didn't really have a ton of faith in him. Like, is an oblique injury, that's tough. That's like an internal thing where like you can't like get like a good throwing motion with it. You kind of have to keep your motion shorter and like you have to fire the ball faster and not get like a huge windup for it. But like it can affect the guy, but it didn't seem like. But then again, like Darnold, yes, they won. They beat San Fran by a ton. But Darnold did only have like 160 yards, 1 touchdown. He didn't have any turnovers, but he didn't have like an amazing game. It's just the defense won that game in the first quarter.
Yeah, but helps when they were literally able to do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I was kind of expecting the. I am blanking. Who the heck did they beat? Oh yeah, San Fran.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was with the injury and all that. I thought San Fran would win that game.
I definitely did too. Yeah, I mean, I was on the record saying that. I got my prediction very wrong on that. Me and Jack both did. But as far as today,
all 3 of us would have.
Yeah, this is I see this game. Yes, the Seahawks defense is probably the best in the league. The Rams defense isn't that level, but their offense is better than the Seahawks. Just plain and simple. These teams had 2 phenomenal games, probably the game of the year in their second meeting where the Seahawks walked it off in overtime with AJ Barner. Just 2 barnstormers of a game. I am so excited for this game. I hope that Darnold can stay healthy throughout the whole thing because I would just love to see an offensive shootout in the NFC Championship. Perfect weather there in Seattle, like 40 degrees in January.
Sports weather.
It really is. I am so torn predicting this game. I genuinely like can't decide. I usually write down my predictions before, but this I said I'm gonna make the decision on the spot because I can't decide. You have a good running attack with Seattle that they leaned on a lot last week, and then Seattle's defense is also
injury does hurt, but you still have Walker.
Yeah, it's
Cam Akers. Cam Akers went to Seattle. Sorry, I'm just looking at who their depth running backs are.
Yeah, this is a tough. What do you have about this game? Like, are you leaning one way or what?
Yeah, I have the Sam Darnold, LA Rams, Detroit Lions, Sam Darnold coming out, so I have him collapsing. Which circles back to why the Vikings didn't keep Sam Darnold. Yep. So Matthew Stafford will outduel Sam Darnold, showing why he's the true MVP. Stafford will like rush, but more likely, obviously, throw. So whether it's rush or throw, he'll have 3 touchdowns. Stafford.
Okay. I feel like
it's their defense. They're in Seattle. I feel like that's fair. It's a championship game. Like, I don't think that's any guarantee. They could still easily rush it with. But like, because I'm sure the betting lines for him are 1.5. I doubt it's 2.5. Like, if you were to place it over under bet, it's definitely not a half.
I'll give it to you, but it's just the only reason why I was pensive is because he's had 3 or more touchdowns in.
I get that, but also Seattle's DS.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, you better. You like that. You like that.
Yeah. So, I just can't wait for this game. What was your score prediction? You didn't say that.
Oh, yeah. So with Darnold collapsing, they're only going to score 14. LA 24. So 24-14 win for LA.
Okay, and as much as I would like to see, like, as a person standpoint here, as much as I'd like to see Darnold succeed and like go to the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I also want to see him fail, because then we can really put this, well, like, genuinely, we can put this narrative that the Vikings failed in the offseason with letting him go. I want him to fail and collapse in the playoffs, so then all of us can be like, remember last year? This is what all of you complained about. Like that kind of a narrative. And obviously Stafford, pretty hands-on, going to be the MVP. I can argue Myles Garrett as much as I want, but Stafford will win the MVP.
Yeah, I'm sure. If he doesn't, I think that'll be an absolute shock to most people.
Yeah.
But yeah, one last thing with the whole Darnold thing. You know, it's funny how many people don't want to admit when we drafted McCarthy that night, how many people are going ballistic. We were all super happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then how they all just pretend to forget about that when we let Darnold go. And it's like, come on, people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. People are crazy. It's a league where it moves way too fast for people. Honestly, like, like I said, as much as I want to see Darnold fail in some cases, I have the Seahawks winning tonight. Just because their defense is like top tier in the league. They cause turnovers. They're good against the run. They're really good against the run, and then they're also really good against the pass. I think the last time the Rams in like week 14 or whatever that was, I'm pretty sure Stafford had 2 picks in that game. They got to Stafford in at least some aspect. I'm actually going back and seeing that. Seattle. Oh, I guess he didn't have any picks that game, but the first game he did against them. Either way, it's so tough. But I think with the experience Darnold had last year it was such an anomaly. He went into those last 2 games of the season just with his feet moving way too fast. He would not avoid a sack. He wouldn't get rid of the ball. Just not winning formula there. And I think with that experience he got, I think he can do it. I am expecting a big shootout, though. I'm expecting like a 34-30 game here. I think it's going to come down to last possession again. I really hope it does. The first 2 games were so good. I love a good trilogy in the NFL with this. That would be really fun. But Seattle wins 34-30. As much as I'd like to see Darnold kind of fail. I love you for what you did in Minnesota, man, but these fans are getting reckless because of you playing well. I'm not even going to say really good, because
it's just he's on just a great team, and it's
exactly
other reasons we've mentioned is yeah.
I mentioned it in my rant episode about like 5 days ago.
It'd be nice seeing him play on, like, say, the Chiefs, given their current. Even the
not
Chiefs
many weapons, but their defense is also not great.
Like the Bills. Bills would probably be the best. If Josh Allen and Darnold swapped.
Yeah, I think Darnold would go back to his 2020
Josh Allen
self.
could very easily be the Mahomes. Multiple Super Bowls. You've got the defense. You've got the coaching. You've got the playmakers. I mean, that, you know how stupid that'd be, JSN, and you've got Cooper Kupp, and you've got the running game. Yeah. I mean,
like I said it in my rant episode like a week ago or something. Like, Darnold these last 2 years has had a top 5 defense in both of them, and he's in the games that he's bad, they still win because of the defense. But I do have Darnold and the Seahawks winning tonight. As for a player prediction, I'm gonna say this: both QBs. I'm gonna go with like 2 QB like parlays in both games here. Both QBs will combine for I'm gonna say 7 touchdowns. Absolute barnstormer. 7 touchdowns.
Barner. What do they call that?
Barner.
The barn.
The what?
You know, Philly's got the tush push. What do they call it with Barner when he sneaks the ball?
Probably the barnstormer, to be completely honest.
That doesn't sound right, but it's something, I don't know. Something with his name. I'm blanking.
I don't know. Either way, there's our predictions for today. Hopefully going to be a couple of good games in the NFL. That's all I'm hoping for. But few announcements again. We're giving away wild tickets tomorrow for the February 2nd game against the Canadians. And then also, again, tomorrow we're having Braden Stevens on. Number 1 wide receiver from Missouri, committed to the Gophers. It's going to be fun.
Fun, elite, great.
Yeah, roll the boat.
Extraordinary. Roll the boat.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun episode with him. We're going to be doing a snake draft of the week with him. So he's going to partake in that and hopefully have a good time doing that because we're going to have a good time. So it just depends on what Braden has.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, everyone stay tuned for that tomorrow. Thank you, Kitchenwise Closetwise, for sponsoring. But for today, everyone make sure you go follow the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. Twins, have they done enough to contend? Predictions for today. That's all we got for today. Everyone, we'll see you tomorrow for a special episode, special guest, Braden Stevens.